Got to be real.
Yes guys, what's going on? I hope everyone's all good. So today we're talking about St. George Groves, and we're talking about Rebras, and we're talking about the future of George Groves in general. We're not going to be concentrating too much on his next opponent, as for another video. Now, he is facing Rebras, and Rebras, I expect George Groves to get through him. I don't think it's the easiest fight, but it's a very winnable fight for George Groves. And the thing is, the guy's had 2 losses in the record against not amazing opposition, and he's had a draw as well there. So you know, you can see like he's fallen short against lesser opposition. And George Groves, on the other hand, he's lost to Carl Froch twice. Swing it whichever way you like. He lost twice, and that's that. So, do I think George Groves though can become a world champion? Do I think that he will get through Rebras and, you know, building his way back up in the rankings? Yeah, I think he will. And here's my reason why. George Groves showed against an elite opponent who is Carl Froch, okay? Carl Froch is elite, okay? You might dislike him, you might like him, but he is elite, okay? He's among the best. He's not the best at the division. That title belongs to Andre Ward, but he is still up there. I think he's quite a way off Andre Ward at the moment, Carl Froch, but, you know, respect to Carl Froch. He's a very good fighter, and, you know, let's see what he does in the future. But this is not a video about Carl Froch. This is a video about George Groves, so let's stick to the topic. George Groves now, when he fought Carl Froch, okay, we're concentrating on George Groves. When he fought Carl Froch the second time, I thought, I don't care what anyone says, I had George Groves up in the fight. I was scoring the fight round by round on Twitter, and I had George Groves up well ahead, because the way I looked at it was this, okay? People might disagree, okay, and everybody scores fights differently. I had Carl Froch as more the aggressor in this fight, but George Groves was the one who was boxing better, who was landing cleaner, more effective punches, okay? The cleaner, more effective, hard punches were coming from George Groves, and Carl Froch got wobbled numerous times, okay? And although Carl Froch was busier, I felt that a lot of his punches were missing, okay? Call me hypocritical because of the Canelo Alvarez and Lara fight, but I had this fight a little bit different. I saw George Groves wobble Carl Froch numerous times, and when a person wobbles 2-3 times in a round, that person's lost that round in my books. And it's very difficult for him to, with pity patty punches, to get the round back. But you see, the thing with George Groves and the Carl Froch thing was, in boxing, you don't just win a fight upon points. You don't just win a fight by outboxing your opponent. You can win a fight by knocking your opponent out, okay? And that is a legit win, okay? And Carl Froch knocked George Groves out, and you have to give Carl Froch the credit for that, okay? Because he knocked George Groves flush out. He had the punch, and he did it, okay? He did not get knocked out himself. He didn't, you know what I mean, allow himself to give up in the fight. He carried on fighting, and eventually he got George Groves out of there. However, George Groves was outboxing Carl Froch, in my opinion, okay? He was outboxing Carl Froch in the first fight. But now the question arises, can George Groves take a punch, okay? I think George Groves can take a punch. I just think that he's got hit with some flush punches, and it happens in boxing. But I think that if he faces, I mean, he's beaten DeGale already, right? Who is a good quality operator, whether he's from the UK or not. Yeah, he is. In my opinion, I think he's worldwide. I think he can beat some of the best fighters in his division. And George Groves beat him in the early days. So I think George Groves, although he hasn't faced the best yet, he has faced Carl Froch, who is among the best, and I think that that's an opponent who we can measure. He's faced him twice, you see, and we can measure how good George Groves is. And I think George Groves, against the elite opposition, he will do very well. I think he's a good boxer. I think he's got a very different style. I think I like the way he moves. I like the way he dodges and weaves. I think George Groves can go all the way and be a world champion, because I don't see him. I've got to be honest, right? This is a boxing analysis channel, and you know what I mean, I do interviews and I do analysis, but I've got to be honest, and I've got to keep it real, because this channel is called Be Real TV, and I've got to speak my real opinion. And I do think that George Groves, right, can become a world champion, but do I think he's going to beat Andre Ward, SOG Ward? No, I don't. I don't think anyone can beat Andre Ward pound for pound, apart from Mayweather, Pacquiao, the best, yeah? I don't see many people beating Andre Ward. Andre Ward, in my opinion, is a tactician and a surgeon in that ring. and I think he is. I think he's the best, and I don't think anyone can beat him. I think he's just too good. But you know, you don't have to beat Andre Ward to be a world champion in today's day and age. I mean, Carl Fletcher's a world champion, but you know, he got beaten by Andre Ward. So realistically, who is the true world champion? Whether he's been inactive or not because of business reasons, the true champion at this weight division is still Andre SOG Ward. Okay, and I really feel that Carl Froch and George Groves and these guys, Keith Thurman is the one who said it right, yeah? He says that there's only one champion at welterweight, and that's Mayweather. You know, you can give a few belts here and there to other people to make them feel like champions, but they're not really champions. The real champion is Floyd Mayweather Jr. The other guys are just paper champions. I feel like in this division, Andre Ward is still the champion. Carl Froch has yet to rematch Ward and beat him. So Andre Ward remains the real champion, whether he's inactive or not. I think that he holds it in numerous aspects, but I do think that George Groves is the future in this division. I think that if he faces DeGale later on, I think that would be a tremendous fight. Do I think DeGale would win? Do I think George Groves would win? I don't know at this stage, to be honest with you, but I do think that George Groves has a lot of potential, and I think that he will go far. And that's just my take, and I see him climbing up the ranks, and he's still in the top 10 in two governing bodies, so he's up there. So I rate George Groves. I like him as a boxer. I think he's shown that he is a good fighter, and I think he will come back strong. St. George Groves, I think he'll do well. Let me know what you guys think. Hey, like it. Just make sure you comment and subscribe to my channel. Comment section below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Sham_Ayub, Facebook.com/BeRealOnline. And yeah, man, just make sure you subscribe and just keep watching, guys. In a bit.